Growing Up on a Farm in Kentucky. Stories by Stan Schmidt. Episode 10, BBs and Shotgun Shells.
We would buy BB guns, or we would get them for Christmas. We always wanted a BB gun for Christmas. And then we had real BBs, and you could shoot at the tin barns and hear a sound when it hit the tin. Or you could knock walnuts out of trees. Or you could shoot at birds, which eventually we started doing. And I remember one day walking around looking for birds in the trees and shooting at them, and finally I saw a pretty dove sitting up in the tree. It wasn't too high. And I shot it and hit it, and it fell out and looked like it was dead. It fell on the ground. And I went and picked it up, and I saw that there was a BB lodged in its head. And it was out cold, but after a while it came to. And I was holding it and looking at it, and it was looking at me. It looked pretty normal. So I had shot myself a dove. I don't know if they're much smoother than pigeons, and they can just look at you with those eyes and make you want to let them go. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, this wounded too bad to live. I should just put it out of its misery. And I debated it, thought about it a long time, and I thought it's really beautiful, and I didn't want to do it, but eventually I went and off its head. And then I felt, wow, really bad about that. How did I do that? And I've thought about that for years, like, how did I do that without even thinking about it?
How old were you then?
I was about the same age, around in high school, I guess, and maybe grade school, I forget. And grade school for us went all the way to the 8th grade, and then high school started at 9th to 12th. So,
was that something you guys had free reign to do a lot of? Just walk around, and if you find animals, it's free game?
Yeah, we would shoot rabbits, crows, and then when I was 13, I was in the pickup truck with my dad we went through J-Town, and he stopped, which was unusual, and he went into this bar. I knew it was a bar, and he stayed in there a while, and he said, "Here, wait for me in the truck." So I was sitting out in the truck, and he was in there drinking a beer, I guess. And then he comes out with a single-barreled shotgun. He says, "Here, I bought this for you." I was 13 years old. He gave me a 28 gauge shotgun, which is an unusual gauge. It's between a 410 and a 20 gauge, smaller than a 20 gauge. And he just gave it to me, and I was able to walk over to the hardware store and buy a box of shotgun shells and start hunting rabbits at 13 years old. It was a light gun, single barrel, and you could move it really quickly when you jumped a rabbit, and but it kind of had a hair trigger on it, and you had to be careful. One time I was climbing over my uncle's wooden fence. There was like 3 boards you had to climb over, and I was standing on top with a shotgun in my hand, loaded and cocked. And I realized it might go off. But I jumped off the fence and kind of pointed it toward the ground, and sure enough, when my boots hit the ground, the shotgun went off. That was another lesson in gun safety.
Right. I guess your dad...
Which I taught myself, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did your dad ever run any safety drills with you?
Nope, no safety drills, no nothing. Just said, be careful. And it taught me to be careful with the gun after that. Imagine that. And I ended up getting a rabbit that day too. It was a light shotgun that you could move real fast, and as soon as the rabbit jumped out, boom, shot him. Took him home, and I would clean them, and My mother would make Hasenpfeffer, which was a tasty, kind of a spicy German way of cooking rabbit, which was really good. We all liked it. And she would also, if we shot a couple of squirrels, she would cook those. And if we shot doves, she would cook those. My parents were always glad to get any help with food on the table. And she did a good job of cooking all of them.